Hello and welcome to NerdVsWorld, episode 38, Caravan of Nerdrage.
Yes. The more you think on that one, the better it gets.
It's the best. Okay. I'm Brendan.
I'm Spindles.
And I'm Ady.
So, on this week's show, we will be discussing the big news from Marvel, them wrapping up their 616 universe. We will be looking forward to Daredevil and announcements for aka Jessica Jones. We'll be discussing the Ready Player One film challenge that a couple of us are undertaking, and a brief talking point about why good shows get cancelled and bad shows just seem to annually get renewed.
Annually get renewed.
I think we were all thinking that.
Okay, well, should we start there then? it seems to be right at the tip of your tongue, so to speak.
Surely it's the arse end of the show.
I'm glad I'm sat the other side of the room.
Well, it's something that I've been thinking about a lot recently, given how quiet they've been in terms of whether Constantine's being renewed or not. Because, as we all know, it didn't get...
It's good!
Well, it's amazing.
It's amazing.
But it didn't get its back order of the whole
Full
season
first
one.
season, no.
And while they've been talking about, other shows that are being renewed on the same network and so forth, they've been staying suspiciously quiet on Constantine as to whether it's going to be coming back or not.
Well, I think a lot of the reason why I didn't get a back 9 was because it was released so late.
Yes.
Yeah.
So because it was released late, they didn't have the numbers to justify a back 9.
Mm-hmm.
But they should by now have the numbers to justify it.
Well, I'd have thought so, yeah.
For a second season.
And from what I've seen, I mean, I think there was figures saying that the return episode wasn't quite as good as it could have been, but then the episode after really was.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
That's true.
It seems to be doing weird things with the numbers, but then again, I don't know whether that's just basing it on the kind of, the US Nielsen ratings, or whether that takes into account, the online streaming, because obviously it's
free on Amazon.
Online only
Yeah.
in the UK on Amazon, so you would have hoped they could get reasonable numbers out of that as to how many people are watching it. I mean, I'm kind of watching it over and over again and suggesting me to watch it.
Yeah. Thing is, though, doing that, it's still coming from your computer, though, isn't it? So.
Well, in my account, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah.
But there might be some there too. Repeat watching. I don't know. But yeah, so I guess I'm kind of a bit annoyed that its future is still uncertain.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And it just kind of leads me on to wonder why it is that some shows get cancelled and some shows continue forever.
And that really, really, really shouldn't.
Well, yeah, as you said in the last episode about The Mentalist and the fact that should have gone.
Yes. And think about all the money, because of how many series there was, the extent of the money there had to be for the last episode, for the last series.
Yeah.
That could have been spent on 3 new shows.
Yeah, all the festering piles of shit like Teen Wolf and Vampire Diaries and...
I don't know, but yeah.
I don't know why those things persist.
Well, the originals was good. The originals as a spin-off was good. It was quite cool.
Yeah, but
they didn't. They should have ended
the Vampire Diaries when they span off the originals.
Maybe done one more series to coincide and then fucking kill it.
The feedback I've had from Emma about it is
kill the Immortals.
Ever since the original started and all those cast members went off into that, the Vampire Diaries has sucked.
Yes, it has.
No pun intended.
Maybe we're just not the audience anymore.
Are we not the audience anymore? Is it 25 to... Is it 18 to 34?
1830.
Is it 18 to 30? Is that the
18
key
to 30.
demographic?
In which case we are just outside that. Some of us more just outside it than others.
Yeah. Not very good recovery there.
I don't know.
Oh, okay, fair enough. So we're potentially not the demographic anymore.
No.
Or maybe it's not even to do with that. Maybe it's to do with the merchantability of the show.
But I just can't. I mean, from the outset, the Vampire Diaries, their lead character
We're not
is
three
essentially a
little
block of
fucking
2x4.
girls. That's the problem.
Yeah, but the Vampire Diaries was just massively cashing in on the whole Twilight phenomenon.
Yeah.
It came along at a
the
point.
right point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It came along at a point where the zeitgeist was just spot on for it to flourish, and it's done so. And it's, whether we like it or not, it stuck around because it attracted a fan base at the time that have stayed with the show.
Stayed with the show, yes.
Because you had Twilight and you had True Blood, and then you had this other show which attempted to be a compromise between the both.
Indeed.
Less adult than True Blood, but maybe less cheesy and ridiculous than Twilight movies.
I suppose.
It just gives the marketing companies... Is it a CW show? I can't even remember now.
Yeah. Yeah, Vampire Diaries is on the CW,
Yeah.
I think.
Their marketing machine is just immense for churning out press and churning out interest for their shows.
Yeah.
I mean, Supernatural's on season 10 at the moment with 11 to come.
Yeah, which for a series that was only ever anticipated being 5 seasons is...
Yeah.
Well, what about that? I mean, have you watched any of the latest seasons?
Yeah, I'm up to date with Supernatural.
And what are your thoughts? Is it still good enough?
Well, it's not as good as season 8 and 9.
See, that's what I would have thought the fans of...
Actually,
like,
season 8. Was season 8 the Leviathans?
Season 8 was Leviathan.
Okay, it's not as good as season 9. Season 8 was terrible.
So I would have thought that Supernatural fans would have mediated around Constantine, you know? It's kind of got an ilking to it.
Yeah, I'll be honest, it wasn't until watching Supernatural the other day that I realised exactly how closely based on Constantine Castiel is. No, Castiel.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is.
Right down to the long coat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
trench coat, open shirt
Yes.
and tie.
Yeah.
You know, but
That's what I mean. You've got all that fan base from that many series, and it's still going. Why hasn't that kind of gone?
well, because
This is good
fa-
shit here.
Well, because fandoms at the moment are just terrifically loyal to the shows that they ship. And there'll be some people who are aware of Constantine from either Justice League Dark or from Hellblazer or from his own stuff or from the film, you know.
Yeah, maybe that's what's put a lot of people off because of the film.
I do think.
To be fair,
I do think the film has probably had an impact.
Yeah,
The film's
and
probably
they've gone
okay.
like, do I really want to watch a TV show that's going to be worse than the film?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's probably a fair assessment. They have just gone, oh well, that film was.
Okay.
The film was an okay film. It wasn't a great. It wasn't
great.
It wasn't a great Constantine film, but
No.
it was an okay film for the genre. It just wasn't Constantine. So yeah, that might have put people off. Because is it free on Amazon or is it only free if you have Prime?
It's only free on
if you have
Prime.
Prime.
Yeah, there you go. So
Yeah,
it's-
there's the payment
you have
for
to
it.
you have to pay for it.
Yeah.
To stream on
Yeah.
Amazon.
And it has no TV pickup.
Yeah.
I don't
No.
even know if it's going to get one.
No, I don't think so.
What channel would you know, what UK channel would
That
pick
would be
that
Channel
up?
Well,
4.
yeah, it would be 4. If you're going to do it, it would be on 4.
Yeah.
But
I would say it'd be Channel
4,
4. It
easily.
it
Do you
sits
really
in the
think
same
Channel 4 would pick
space
it up,
as
though?
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
yeah.
I can
4
see a
used to
double
take
bill
risks.
of that and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in a night. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. first, followed by that. Be awesome.
Yeah.
It would be awesome, but do you really think they would do it? That's the thing.
Well, the audience is there for it.
I struggle to see it.
So, yeah. So there's a couple of things. And maybe it's the fact that you have to pay for it on Prime, no UK TV syndication for it, and bad taste in the mouth from the film put people off.
Yeah.
But and there's still no TV syndication for Agent Carter in the UK.
Which is a crying shame. 'Cause that show was awesome.
Yeah.
I've still not seen any of it yet.
No, I haven't.
But
It's
I know
worth
it's
it.
got no UK air date yet. Again, that's one I would have expected Channel 4 to pick up to run
yes.
along with Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
Is it similar sort of age setting, or is it a little bit lighter? As in, could it be a Saturday job, Saturday daytime job?
No,
Or
it's
afternoon?
No,
It's on the same ilk as
pitches
S.H.I.E.L.D.
to the same audience as Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Fair.
Yeah. Slightly different in terms of setting, obviously, because it's just literally just post Second World War.
Yeah.
But it's a good show.
Yeah, I guess it's because there's a lot of shows that are coming back now. Certainly on for like limited run series, shall we say? We had 24 last year. We got Heroes Reborn,
Yeah.
which just had its kind of big trailer
At the Super Bowl.
at the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl.
So that's it's confirmed that HRG is back, but that's pretty much it from the original series, and it's Zachary Levi as the main character.
Oh, cool. Yeah. I like Zach Levi.
Yeah. So that could be good. I don't know. Depends. Season 1 of Heroes was awesome. Then
Yes, it was.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then suddenly writers' strike.
Yeah.
And then every show at the time was just like, oh, what the fuck
What the
did
fuck?
we do?
Why? What are you doing? What? Who's that?
Yeah.
And no, that couldn't possibly have happened.
That hurt a lot of shows.
Yeah, it did. I mean, it killed some really good shows at that point, and there's an obvious reason for why a lot of shows got cancelled in that year, but there was a lot of shows kind of unfairly cancelled. There was one called was it Moonlight, which was vampire private detective in Chicago, I think it was. Not Chicago.
That rings a bell.
Yeah, and that ran, and then there was also the Dresden Files TV show.
Yeah, that was good.
Which got again half a season. It got 12 episodes and then died, and both of them were really quite interesting shows, but ended up getting canned because of the writers' strike.
It wasn't Moonlight? Wasn't it Night Moves?
No, it's called Moonlight.
Night Moves is something else, really, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely called Moonlight. Oh, I'm trying to remember who was in it now, but I've completely forgotten. So I don't know. It's a really tough thing, but I think it just pisses me off constantly that really good shows have such an uncertain future or just get canned versus the same tripe that gets trolled out week after week.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe we're to blame as an audience. Maybe we're not tuning in enough. Maybe too many of us are streaming illegally and costing numbers.
True. It could well be.
Maybe it could just be a symptom of the age. The fact that there's perhaps a tendency towards fickleness in the digital age. Everything's on demand, everything is there, you don't have to stick to
So you
something.
don't necessarily have the brand loyalty anymore.
If something bores you after 5 minutes, you just turn it off.
Yeah, and I guess it's kind of, now we kind of, rather than having weekly event shows, we binge watch.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I can't remember
That's
the last
very,
big
very true.
piece of event.
The
television.
only piece of event TV I know of at the moment is Broadchurch, and that's something I'm watching every week when it's on.
Yeah. Remember when ER used to be event TV?
No.
Don't you remember, George Clooney rescuing the boy from the grill in the flood?
No.
Man,
No.
those ER clips.
I never really got into it.
They were must-watch events.
That was on like a Friday night, wasn't it? At 10 o'clock. So hence I was probably working in a pub at that point.
Yeah,
I haven't properly
I didn't have
watched-
much of a life on Fridays.
Yeah, I can't say I've properly watched terrestrial TV for quite some time.
I used to watch it because
I watch The Chase every day. It's awesome. 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock on +1, depending what time I get home.
Sherry Stringfield would have been, if this show had been happening at the time of ER, Sherry Stringfield would have been my crush of the week most weeks because she was awesome. And then Juliana Margulies is one of hers.
Brendan's crush of the week.
Brendan's retro crush.
Yeah.
I don't know, so I guess maybe we are kind of to blame in a way then, and that sucks.
But there's got to be other factors as well.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at what comic conventions have become, especially looking at the big ones, NYCC and SDCC, they're no longer necessarily about comic conventions.
They're about launching TV shows and films.
It's whichever network turns up with the biggest hype machine and gets that captive audience there.
A lot of the UK ones are going that way. Is it not London Film? MCM Expo last year was very much, here is the world premiere of this show and announcement of this film, and they had live things with Bruce Campbell about the film that they were releasing and stuff. So I think they're very much starting to become that in the UK as well.
Yeah. I mean, I can't remember if Constantine had a presence at Comic-Con last year?
Don't know.
It certainly wouldn't have had as big a presence as Vampire Diaries.
I think
Vampire
I
Diaries
think
would
it
have had a
did
bigger
because I
haul.
think I remember about Matt Ryan being there in the costume.
But that would be the thing. If they could make it through to this summer and they can get to San Diego and get into one of the smaller halls or get onto Zachary Levi's Nerd Machine, get some connection between the actors and the audience. That nowadays is how loyalty is built up.
Yeah.
That connection. People will stand by the actors rather than the characters sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, like Misha Collins gets worshipped as Castiel, but like it is Misha Collins, isn't it?
Yeah, Misha Collins, yeah.
I keep worrying that I'm going to say Misha Barton again. So yeah, but people will stick with Supernatural because of that.
Mm.
I don't necessarily think that Supernatural is the reason people aren't watching Constantine.
I don't think so. I think the two are very, very different. Yeah. I think the show closest to Supernatural at the moment is Sleepy Hollow. Have you been watching that recently?
No, I haven't watched any of it.
I didn't watch much of season 1. I got a bit bored of season 1, I have to admit. Then I started watching season 2, and it's actually really rather good. Okay. It's kind of set up an ongoing plot line, and they are very much the kind of...
Is that because they've got a bigger budget for a better writer?
Probably, yeah. Because Ichabod Crane and a couple of others they're the kind of hunters, and there's a lot of supernatural goings on. And they introduced, what's his name? John Noble.
Yeah.
As Ichabod's son, which is weird time flanginess.
Yeah.
But it's developed a real sarcastic sense of humour as well, and I love some of the dialogue in it. Some of the rants that Ichabod Crane goes on are just fantastic when he is just basically denigrating modern society. It's a particularly good exchange with a bank manager who's trying to offer him a credit card and stuff. It does get really, really quite good. Mm. And that feels very similar to Supernatural at the moment. They had a Wendigo in it. And I was just like, it's very Supernatural to me. Wendigos in episodes, and a Pied Piper episode, and a couple others. So they are still very much Monster of the Week, but they've introduced an ongoing plot line of... well, again, that's it. It's kind of straight out the pages of Constantine. It's a demon trying to make its way to Earth.
Yeah. Well, Supernatural season 10 is going... Did you watch season 9?
Yes.
So you saw how it ended?
Yes.
Okay.
Deanman.
Deanman. They got rid of that fairly quickly.
Well, they wrapped it up in like 3-4 episodes.
2 episodes, really.
Yeah.
Which I was glad about, because that could have been really annoying.
Yeah.
The musical episode was brilliant.
Mm. Yes, was it 200th episode?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was very,
the musical
very
episode was great. It's been a bit rocky, been up and down. But now...
I think Supernatural at the moment is in danger of becoming a parody of itself.
Possibly. Well, the latest episode was Felicia Day.
Again, I thought they packaged her off to Oz.
No, she was back from Oz. They killed the Wizard of Oz.
Okay.
They killed the Wizard of Oz.
She came back. She's been split into two. There was good Charlie and evil Charlie.
Okay.
Japes ensued, and now it looks like the plot line for the season looks like it's going to be a quest to remove the mark from Dean.
Yeah, the mark of Cain.
Or find a way to help him control it.
Okay.
Yeah.
On shows that should be cancelled, I don't know whether I spoke about this on the last episode, but 12 Monkeys.
No, you didn't.
God, it's horrible!
Really?
Yeah, I have read and seen so many.
I really must post a review on the site just to tell everybody how much they need to avoid this show.
It has been fucking slated internationally.
It appears we watched the film, and we introduced Megan to the film, and she sat and she watched it. At the end, she was like, wow, that was really interesting. Yeah, I got what they were doing, and that was him, and it was all the inevitability of time travel and stuff. Within the first 5 minutes of the show, they're like, oh, look here, I can change time. We're like, no, you just ruined the entire premise. The entire premise is you can't change anything. And so now it's become a bunch of people leaping through time, seemingly at random. They've thrown in a weird quantum leap type thing into it. The machine they use essentially splinters you through time, so you turn up in different places. So he turned up,
Clara.
and there was a guy who was in Heroes in the later episodes. He was one of the baddies in Heroes. and he turned up, and then he got killed, and he was like, but yes, you haven't met me yet, have you? We first met in 1980 something or other. So he's obviously got to go back in time and meet him later, and there's lots of fucking around with time and change it. So it's essentially become a hero's, we need to save the future by altering the past. And it's really, really sucky.
Okay, well, I'll avoid that then.
Yeah. I downloaded the first 2 episodes, like, intent on watching the first one, the second one, and then watching it weekly. I've not even watched the second one. That was full-on table flip.
Yeah.
You shall not pass.
I haven't seen any of it. I just saw insurmountable amounts of slatings from...
The main character is the guy who played, I can't remember, Nikita Burkhoff. He played Burkhoff in Nikita, the TV show.
Oh, right.
He's the main character.
No, not ringing a bell.
Yeah,
well.
Doesn't really matter. That was another show that got cancelled. Which probably should have gotten cancelled earlier.
But it has been cancelled.
Oh, Nikita's definitely gone.
Yeah.
So
I don't know about 12 Monkeys.
You got into that, but I didn't like it at all. The way it was
Nikita?
Yeah, the new
I liked the first couple of seasons were pretty good. It was an interesting kind of spy japery.
The original, I liked the original.
Oh, La Femme Nikita's an excellent TV show. The one with Petter Wilson.
Yes.
Yeah. No, that's an excellent
just
show.
Nikita, I was very disappointed with it and went, nah, just doesn't sit right with me.
Yeah, I kind of liked it. It was nice. It was her kind of fighting against.
Yes, I understood that. I understood
cool.
the plot line and what it was about. I just didn't feel that it gave me what it was supposed to do.
Yeah, it was a bit slick in its production values.
Yes.
And I think it could have done with being a bit grimier and a bit more unpleasant.
Exactly. It was a bit too twee and shiny. Yeah,
I'll agree with that. There's high-tech shininess. So yeah, I don't know how we got onto that.
No idea.
There was a train of thought there.
We pulled in at the station. You're jumped on board.
But in terms of new stuff, obviously we've had the announcements. Well, we've had the trailers released.
Yeah, the trailer
for
Daredevil,
the new Daredevil,
which looks really
looks promising. Yeah, it looks very promising.
Now, if they put a metal soundtrack to it, that'd be really cool.
I imagine they will.
Yeah.
It seems to. I was having a conversation with
it
you the other day.
I brought up the subject.
TV and film tend to be going back more towards the kind of metal soundtracks at the moment.
To what it was sort of like about 12 years ago.
Yeah, when it was all
it was all
Lee's
rock
the
metal.
One and stuff like that with Disturbed and Resident Evil, Dawn of the Dead with Down with the Sickness on it and stuff.
Yeah, we are appreciating the metal in your music, miss.
Mm.
Yeah, no, the Daredevil trailer looks pretty good though.
Yeah, it does.
It's interesting.
Yeah. Oh, that came about because the band we had on last episode, they were in the credit music.
For Transformers
3. Yeah.
Cool.
Yes.
And
of course there was the announcement that David Tennant is going to be popping up in, aka Jessica Jones.
As the Purple Man.
As the Purple Man, who's he's a very big character in terms of the history of Jessica Jones. Very interested to see how kind of gritty that one's going to be, because the Alias books are particularly gritty and disturbing.
yes.
Well,
Which I like.
I think all the Netflix shows will be part of the shared universe because they're meant to be.
They're all Hell's Kitchen, aren't they? And then they're all going to come together at the end.
I think
of
they will
the
be.
series.
I'm hoping they will be gritty because Netflix seem to be putting that edge of grittiness to
quite a lot
their
of
own
quite a lot of the stuff that they're
productions.
producing is like Hemlock Grove.
Yeah, exactly. That was very cool.
Yeah, even Marco Polo.
I've still not watched that. Keep me in.
I saw the first episode. It was okay. So all the Marvel stuff will be as gritty as Marvel will allow it to be.
True.
Even Fantastic
as gritty
Four.
As Disney allows them to be.
Yeah, Fantastic Four isn't MCU.
No,
it's not Netflix either.
And
that feeds into a later point.
Yeah.
Well, that kind of brings us on to the 616 universe, which we might as well go into
We'll
now.
tackle it
Anyway.
now then. Yeah. So, Marvel announced that they are going to be ending the Marvel 616 universe during the Secret Wars.
There goes another Secret War,
Yeah.
and then
Essentially, the Ultimate Universe and 616 universe will be smashed together. Looks like the 2099 universe will be joining it as well in what's called Battle World.
Yeah.
And all the characters will be fighting for survival, and it'll be the survivors that will then populate the new rebooted Marvel universe.
Yeah.
So essentially, it's a chance to get characters from the Ultimate Universe, like the Morales version of Spider-Man, and possibly their version of Nick Fury, because that is the MCU Nick Fury, and bring them across into a reboot of the comics designed to fall in line with the cinematic universe.
And I mean, the cynic in me is that it's to get rid of properties that they no longer own.
Absolutely. I reckon we will see more titles from Guardians of the Galaxy, more titles from Inhumans. Building up on those two titles to get over the reliance on X-Men and Fantastic Four, because they're not part of the MCU, so why promote them?
Yeah. I think Fantastic Four I can kind of get behind in terms of getting rid of it. That I've always found Fantastic Four to be cheesy and unnecessary. The only decent thing that ever came out of Fantastic Four was Franklin, who then turned up in Power Pack, and that made that much more interesting. So the best thing they did was have a child, who then became an interesting part of the universe. But they themselves, I think the only thing I've ever found them interesting in was the 1602. Which was Neil Gaiman's.
That was very
reboot
good
to the universe, which is awesome. If you've never read 1602, read it. It's phenomenal. It's what happens when you put the age of superheroes in
1602.
in the 17th century. It's it's awesome. I could see them getting rid of Fantastic Four. The last two films have sucked.
Yeah.
Pretty much any attempt at a TV show has sucked.
Yes.
Even
the cartoons sucked.
But I can't quite get my head around getting rid of X-Men. And I think they're too big a property and too entrenched in the Marvel universe to get rid of.
Well, they've already said they're cancelling the Fantastic Four line.
Because that was last year they announced that, and now we can see why and how.
Yeah, and I don't think they'll cancel X-Men. They'd be daft to do so.
Yeah.
I quite agree, but I think they'll push the Inhumans more.
Yeah.
We will see the Inhumans as an alternative to the mutants of the X-Men that the MCU can then stick into films, essentially. It's all about making...
But expanding the roster and making stuff available for either the small or big screen.
And it's playing on people's familiarity with characters from the screen to help shift books.
Yeah.
Which I think is smart.
Yeah.
That's essentially what it is.
It's totally logical, Captain.
But it's just unusual that they would go the DC route and reboot the universe like this.
Indeed. It's something that Marvel haven't always shied away from doing, because they built up such history in the
it's the growing popularity of the cinematic and television performances that they've brought forward.
I'm not convinced that the growing popularity of superhero movies and TV is having any kind of effect on comic book sales.
No.
In fact, I think it's...
that's why it's not, because
I don't think it's boosting comic sales.
No, but that's why I said it, for that very reason, that it's to reboot it to get those comic book sales from that and vice versa, to have it all coincide.
I kind of find that in ones that I've seen, when you've had comics that have come off the back of films or TV, they've invariably been...
That's why I said not to come off the back of, but to coincide.
I've never found spin-offs to comics from that to work. I can't think of any reasonable examples that do work. I can think of lots that didn't. There's X-Files and all the Star Wars ones didn't work particularly well.
But they're rebooting those as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, end of line for one lot, isn't it? Very good. There was a very good bundle they were selling all of the whole lot.
Yeah, I bought the Humble Star Wars bundle.
Did you?
Oh, the games.
Yeah.
The
ebooks. They did an
the
ebook
ebooks.
one.
I know. What was it?
I bought
50
that.
quid or something for all of them.
Well, no, it's Humble Bundle, so you pay what you want.
Bugger, I missed that.
And if you pay over $10, you got some extra books. If you paid over the average, then you got more. But yes, I saw the Humble Star Wars games bundle today, and I'm very tempted.
I am just for Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2.
Yeah, indeed. Jedi Knight. I love the original Jedi Knight on the PC. It's a cracking game.
Yeah.
That's with the Dark Troopers.
Mm.
Need to get a control pad for my
PC
Mac then.
Yeah, dude, they're very. I've got my control pad. It's great.
Yeah.
Lots more Elite Dangerous. I had a breakthrough on Elite Dangerous last night.
How'd it go?
It was awesome. I've figured out how to do dogfighting a bit better now.
Sweet.
So I figured out there's a little kind of blue area of your speed bar, and if you're within that, then your maneuverability is like 10 times better.
Nice.
So I've been kind of trying to speed up and slow down and catch up with people and having top speed and moving around, but you're turning circles less when you're higher speed, so you can't shoot people. So I spent the night just blowing people up, and it was awesome.
Sweet.
So that was an aside. So where were we? Yes,
The remake.
comics.
Comics.
Yeah.
And ones that do and don't
you were
work.
struggling with the whole
Yeah.
concept of it, but is what I meant of like not spin-offs from it, but to coincide, bringing out TV shows, films at the same time, not being spin-offs of each other to coincide.
That's obviously
bring
what
forward.
that's
That's
obviously
what I
what
was
they're
saying.
Yeah.
That's obviously what they do.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's why they're rebooted, so it can then go out. So both sides of comic book world, cinematic and televisual world, will bounce off each other.
There needs to be more Marvel Zombies in the world. That's my take on it.
Okay.
Marvel Zombies is awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
They should do a film of that. That would be brilliant. That would be something unexpected for Marvel to do. Just throw in Marvel
I
Zombies
could see
in.
that. I could see that being a TV show rather than it being a film, though.
Possibly, yeah. I think it would probably work as a TV show. But I would just love to
Yes.
pull in actors who've played various Marvel characters over the
and play
years
them
and
as
just pull them
zombies.
in
Yeah,
as zombie
yeah,
versions.
yeah.
Would just be hilarious.
Yes, zombie Professor X.
Well, he wouldn't be in it because he's not owned by Marvel anymore.
No, I know, but
yeah.
That would be quite funny.
Yes.
So, in Age of Ultron news, we're getting it even earlier than expected. It's been pushed forward to the 23rd of April now.
Okay, because we
In the
were
UK.
always getting it a couple of weeks earlier, weren't
We
we?
were getting on the 29th.
Oh, right, okay, so it's moved even earlier.
Yeah.
Cool.
Awesome.
So it's,
Let the countdown begin.
Yeah.
It's opening on the 4th of May in the States. So Star Wars Day and Memorial Day weekend.
Opening Avengers on Star
Star
Wars
Wars
Day.
Day.
What are they thinking?
Yeah. Everyone will be at home watching Star Wars again. So yeah, it was the 29th over here, and it's gone forward to the 23rd, and it has been confirmed that Andy Serkis is playing exactly who everyone thought he would be playing. So he's Ulysses Claw,
Cool.
Black Panthers, Nemesis. I suspect it's probably because Captain America's shield is definitely broken at some point in this movie, and it's made from vibranium, which is the chief exporter of Black Panther's pupil.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Wakanda land.
Cool.
So yeah, we'll probably see him at some point, which would be sweet.
Yeah, very much so.
And I still think it's Moon Dragon.
Well, we shall see, sir. We don't have long to wait now.
We have even less time to wait now.
Yeah.
But yeah, standing behind Thor.
Yes.
We'll see. We'll see.
2 and a bit months.
Yeah. Yeah, and how about that Jurassic Park or the Jurassic World trailer?
I've not seen it.
No, I haven't.
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like even the first one was awesome. Like Chris Pratt leading like a group of velociraptors, like his own personal army, and in this one he's training them. It's just like, this is exactly what I want from a Jurassic Park movie.
What are your thoughts on the latest Chris Pratt rumours?
Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Well, initially I was just like, oh man, but
It doesn't
Star-Lord.
look that out of
Star-Lord
place.
is just Indiana Jones in
Yeah.
space.
Yes.
But then I thought,
which is Han Solo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Han Solo was just Indiana Jones in
Yeah.
space, so actually it's kind of cool.
It kind of makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, it
It
does.
does. Yeah.
My worry is that he becomes like the American Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah,
Well,
I
he
think,
just
I
goes-
think he's
Oh,
going
he's
to.
gonna be,
overexposed in
Yeah.
absolutely
Yeah.
everything, which would suck because like his Star-Lord
But
performance
as long as
was-
he's careful with what he does.
yeah,
The
but
new Alan
his
Dale.
his Star-Lord performance was so good because nobody expected that from him.
Mm.
He wasn't a Hollywood A-lister
No.
movie star. He was Parks and Rec,
Mm.
which incidentally they've done a spin-off from Parks and Rec into Jurassic Park, which is hilarious. Yeah, but now everyone knows what he can do. There's a worry he's just going to be doing the same thing.
Yeah, that's what I said. As long as he's careful what he does, then and tell him to fuck off.
But yeah, no. If they're going to reboot Indy and he's going to be Indy, I'm totally down with that.
I don't think it's going to be a real.
Fucking aliens.
It's not going to be a reboot as such. It's meant to be a prelude, really, isn't it?
No, it'll be a.
It'll be a reboot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cause,
There'll be a reboot.
okay. Because from what I read about it, they were planning it to be the younger years.
No, they tried the young Indiana Jones once
I
upon a
know.
time.
Yeah.
Yes, I know the TV show.
But no, I think he's already too old to be a young Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
I mean, the age he is now is kind of the age we first saw Indiana Raids of the Lost
True,
Ark. So
yeah.
It'll be like Stargate. It'll be a new beginning for a new generation.
Mm.
Which it's
Of the
kinda
same
cool.
character.
Yeah, but that's fine. That's no big deal. It's not
Yeah.
anything like that. If it's a fresh story, that's fine.
Mm.
You'll have the old fans coming back for the nostalgia value, and you'll have the new fans picking up for the
Yeah,
Chris
I'd
Pratt
say
one.
it'll probably be less Nazis, more something else. I would have thought.
Oh yeah,
I think
probably
the,
the
the
Koreans.
time of Nazis as bad guys is pretty much gone now.
Yeah, it'll be the Russians or the North Koreans or the Chinese.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Sign of the times.
yeah, any of the three nuclear superpowers with twitchy trigger figures that you just want to poke, So,
So-
Or it could be completely
G-
different
G-
and go
America.
for more unheard of, like weird Amazonian tribes and stuff like that, which would be non-politically inclined.
Well, They
You
did
mean the
that
ones
with-
that aren't good enough to drop bombs on you.
yeah,
Yeah,
they did that with Temple of Doom to an extent, but not
Yeah.
Amazonian. With,
They did, yeah.
with the Indian tribes.
Yeah.
It's very much a
well, you got
post-colonial view of what the colonies were like.
Mm.
For the backwards people with their weird religions.
and stabby
Yeah.
pokey sticks.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think they're. Yeah, I think script writers and storytellers nowadays are probably, a little.
Bit more educated.
Yeah, a little more advanced
No, but
in terms of
you know what I mean?
how they want to
As in
categorise
unheard
people.
of weird tribes that are living in fucking volcanoes in the middle of fucking Japan or some shit like that. I don't know.
Yeah, or they could go anywhere. We don't know. We're not script writers, are we? We're
No.
just people who pretend that we could do a better job than script writers, which we
Hey,
blatantly
if-
could.
if
Of course we could.
With a head like
Best
mine,
thing
if
ever
I
if
was
we
script
wrote it.
writing, I'd be fucking rich and famous by now.
So yeah. What else? What are the trailers? Oh, Fantastic Four trailer came out, and this is the shocking thing. It actually looked quite watchable.
No, don't believe you.
But here's the other thing.
The Invisible Woman's really invisible.
No. So yeah, the trailer looks.
So he can get his thing out.
Yeah.
The trailer makes it look interesting, certainly more watchable than I expected it to be. However, they've gone with the whole dark and gritty approach to superhero films. Now, if any property is going to be
Fantastic Four doesn't work
camp
as
and
dark
cheesy,
gritty, yeah.
it's going to be Fantastic Four. You cannot dark and grittify
No,
the Fantastic Four.
what is essentially, a wholesome American family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though that dynamic has changed in this reboot somewhat. But hey, it won't be around for long.
That's
Not
not
at all. Yeah.
Still waiting for a decent Silver Surfer movie.
Yeah. I don't think
No.
that's going to come along.
Where does his license fall?
I really don't know. I'm guessing. Well, I'm guessing it was with Fox because that was Fantastic Four 2 rather
Yeah,
than
right,
Silver Surfer.
However,
But it may have lapsed.
might have done because he's part of the Galactic the sort of the cosmic Marvel universe as well. So
he's theoretically a thing that can turn up in Guardians of the Galaxy, etc., depending on whether Galactus is owned by someone else.
Yeah.
Because that I have no idea who would own a property such as Galactus.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, anyway.
If it be anybody, it might be Universal, given that Universal had X-Men, etc., and did the whole Dark Phoenix stuff, even though they did it badly.
Yeah. We'll see.
Indeed.
Or not, as the case is probably going to be. Let's be honest.
Well, now we're talking about lots of shit stuff. Tell us about something good. Ex Machina.
Oh, Ex Machina.
Yeah. I want to see that.
So, high concept sci-fi has a particular problem when it comes to retreading existing tropes that have been done to death. And AI and the question of humanity and what it is to be real is one of those tropes that has spawned so many films and so many books, to the extent that there is a couple of books called The Philosophy of Star Trek and The Metaphysics of Data, which are all about the episodes focusing on is data human. And we're going to see this again this year, in fact, with Terminator Genesis and Neil Blomkamp's Chappie. So this idea hasn't gone away. So I went into the film expecting to be a little bit let down with its conclusion, maybe to find myself watching a film that I'd seen in some form or another through other movies over the years, but actually I saw something a little bit different. It did add something new to the argument. It played itself out like it was going to go for a very obvious twist, but then veered away from it. It was beautifully shot. It was well acted. And I was talking about it with my friend for a good hour after we'd left the cinema. Because initially I was just like, I'm not sure what I think of that. I thought it was good, but did I love it? Is it a great? Would I recommend it? And then, like, after talking for a while, thinking, more I talk about this film, the more I realise it was doing something very clever. But I don't want to give too much away. You're going to have to kind of watch it.
Yeah.
It leaves it open-ended. It's a very ambiguous ending.
Is that left it open for a sequel, or just it doesn't explain stuff?
It just, well, it lets you draw your conclusions, whether you think the robot genuinely displayed humanity or what. Essentially, it's set in this little blue book, which is like the film's version of Google and Facebook, essentially. And the guy who runs that company has a lottery where he selects a coder to come out to him for a week to take part in a Turing test, essentially. So he goes through, do you know what this is? And you go, yes, it's if you can have a conversation with a computer and be fooled that
know which one is the computer, which one's human.
Then you know it's passed the test and it's AI. So his version of the test is he shows you the robot. So my test is like, you see the robot and you still converse with it. Do you think it's human? And that's what the whole film's built around. And then I thought it was going somewhere along the lines like, maybe they were both robots. Maybe the guy doing the test was the robot. At the end of the film, I was just like, I don't know who was a robot and who wasn't a robot. I was thinking, oh, he's a robot. He's not.
Were they unicorns? That seems to signify whether they're robots or not.
No, there's no unicorns. There are a couple of things which are really hard to watch. In the finale, there's a couple of bits which are, not easy viewing. It's just the sheer casual nature of a couple of acts of violence that just seem to have no effort behind them at all. It's just so easy. And the music at the time was really, it doesn't fall in line with the visual.
Right.
The music's kind of
it's
soothing.
kind of like the ultra violence.
But it's supposed to be like that, though, isn't it? It's supposed to be like that's the mentality of the character at that point. No, it was just awkward. No.
It's just portraying the strength of the character involved, the physical strength.
That's kind of what I meant.
Yeah, it's just like so easy.
Yeah.
There's some other little bits of stuff which are vaguely uncomfortable to watch too, but.
Like the back of a Volkswagen. Sorry.
But on the whole, I thought it was a good film.
Cool.
I think Neil Blomkamp will probably do it better.
Mm.
I think Chaffee will be a better film. But
yeah,
with
I'm
those sort
slightly
of films-
sceptical about that one. But
with those sort of films, you're always going to find yourself watching something you've seen in some form
Yeah.
yes,
along the way.
yeah, you will.
So you're always looking for that one little thing that adds something new to the concept, and Ex Machina does that.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's kind of cool. It's worth a watch.
Cool.
If you like sci-fi, it's worth the watch anyway. But
Me? Nah, don't like it at all. Not a fan.
Cool.
I did finally get around to watching To Echo at the weekend.
To Echo was
It
beautiful.
was awesome. Yeah.
Such a wonderful film.
It's it's very much kind of E.T. meets the Goonies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Goonies.
It's very, very cool. My only criticism of it is just that, the choice of the kind of shaky cam as the way they filmed it.
I kind of like that because it was all done. It was all done from their perspective.
Yeah.
So I liked it.
I don't know. I think I've seen too many bad films of that type
Yes.
that they kind of put me off.
It's
Blair
given it a
Witch being
cliche
the
now,
first.
Yeah.
Yeah, I came out of that spitting feathers. I hated the Blair Witch Project with an absolute passion. And so it always sets me slightly on edge when they do that, and things like Cloverfield, and
Yeah.
they did a very good job. And Chronicle. So it's films like that have done a very good job of making the special effects look normal, if you know what I
Yeah.
mean. So they don't look like glossy CGI. They just look like something that's happening in front of a camera.
Yeah.
So that's very good. But I don't know. I just think I kind of like my cinematography to be a bit more framed.
I didn't even notice the shaky cam in Earth Turkey, to be honest.
Yeah.
I was so into the film.
But no, I really thoroughly
Yeah.
enjoyed it. It was excellent. Very,
Yeah.
very good film.
So we did a swap, didn't we? Because I got Lady Hawk on Blu-ray.
Which leads us nicely into...
The Ready Player One film challenge. It was also that was planned, wasn't it?
Wow!
Wow.
It's like we planned this.
So yeah, I'd never seen Lady Hawk before.
It's
Yeah.
phenomenal.
I
Brilliant.
loved that film
Yeah.
growing up. I've seen it so many times since.
One
then.
of the films that forever cemented Matthew Broderick and Rutger Hauer in my mind as some
Yeah.
really good actors.
True.
Yeah, I was expecting 80s camp.
Yeah.
Oh.
And you get a
okay.
bit of cheese, but
There
not
is,
a lot.
Not a lot.
No.
But that's
You
just
actually get
because
a
of
really sweet story.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
very, very sweet story, and there's some very dark moments in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially when like at the end when he just gives the priest the knife and says, "Just
Yeah.
kill her.
Yeah.
She wouldn't want to live if I was dead." Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really? Okay. Mate.
Yeah. There's fucking masculinity for you.
But yeah, there's some really touching moments in there. Like after the morning after he's fallen into the ice water
Mhm.
and they almost touch,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then she turns to bird. I actually went, "Damn, that's harsh."
Yeah.
Epic
Yeah.
troll.
Yeah.
Because I thought maybe that was the time, and then obviously, I was like at one point I was like, I bet it's an eclipse,
Hmm.
and that of course it was an eclipse.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was a really nice film. I really enjoyed it. It's definitely canon. I can see why Halliday liked it so much
Yeah.
to put it in the book. And I mean, Halliday's the character, and the book is the almanac rather than Ernest Cline and Ready Player One.
Yes.
But yeah.
So,
I've gone very meta there.
the Ready Player One film
Yeah.
challenge.
So the Ready Player One film challenge, I bought the book a couple of years back, and my Amazon directory has got like maybe 10 or 11 copies of that book now that I've bought and given to people. I love that book so much.
Yeah, I have one of them.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. And I gave it to a friend over Christmas, and she texted me Christmas Day from Portugal saying that she was reading it. I was like, oh, I want to read my copy now as well. So I just had to buy another copy. Because obviously you had my copy, so I just bought another copy on Amazon, had it delivered to me on Boxing Day. And after reading it, I was like, it would be really cool to watch every single film that has been referenced in this book. Can I make a list? So yes, I can. I went out and I made a list. and there's a fucking lot of films.
There are a lot of
There
films.
is an awful lot of films. Given that I bunched Star Wars, Star Trek, and
Lord of the Rings
As
as
one.
one entry, you know, there's easily 80 films on that list to watch. I've managed 4 so far.
Yeah, I think I've managed 4 and a third. Not even a third, because I've managed the first half of Fellowship of the Ring.
Okay. Well, I know that we're going to chalk 3 off on Star Wars Day,
Yes.
so that's fine. I mean, one day, get 3 done. I know we're going to have a Lord of the Rings marathon at some point, so that's another 3 done, so that's fine. And we're going to have a John Hughes Day, so that'll get like 6 of them done.
That'll get a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
Because
John
we
Hughes.
watched Say Anything the other night, so...
Oh, actually,
Yeah.
yeah, 7 with that one, because
There's Pretty in Pink, Ferris Bueller, Breakfast Club,
Weird Science,
Weird Science.
Some Kind of Wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he mentions the John Hughes male trilogy and female trilogy,
Mm.
which is weird. But yeah, Pretty in Pink, Breakfast Club, 16 Candles.
Yeah.
War Games, Ferris Bueller.
Oh yes.
War Games wasn't John Hughes, was it?
No, it wasn't.
No, War Games
No, it
wasn't John
wasn't.
Hughes.
No,
It
so-
was Matthew Broderick.
Oh, Broderick, not.
Yeah.
So Ferris
the-
Bueller, Weird Science, Say Anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the 3 in
Yeah.
that now. And then we'll just watch War Games at the same time. There's a lot of Matthew Broderick films in this
There
list
are a
too.
lot of it, but there's one less, because I thought it was the Matthew Broderick
Yeah,
Godzilla, but it's not.
No, it's not. It's it'll definitely be the 1954 Godzilla that we have to watch.
Okay.
So the list is up on the Wonky Spanner. I'm going to do regular updates when I chalk off a number of significant films, or when I watch a film I haven't seen before.
Yeah, there's not many on there that I haven't seen, but there are a couple.
Yeah, there's one called Daikaiju Gamera.
Yeah, Gamera, yeah.
I've never seen that.
No.
So
That rings a bell. I'm trying.
and to be honest, I've never seen Silence of the Lambs.
I've seen
Oh,
some
okay.
of the Lambs.
So that's one
Yeah, that's
that'll be
one-
on there for
yeah.
me.
Yeah.
But I
Just
think
don't do it alone, dude.
I think most of the others I've seen.
But I did watch Battle for Endor the other night, and it's truly awful.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen that one. And I had that one to look forward to. Yeah.
Caravan of Courage was not a half bad film, but this one's awful with Wicket actually speaking English and yeah, so it's like the whole of Caravan of Courage is the 2 kids looking for their family, etc.
Yes.
And then they wipe out the family in the first 5 minutes of the second film, and then introduce this woman who can turn herself into a crow and stuff. It's
Wow.
Yeah.
And then
it's
they
kind of Willow in space.
yeah,
It is.
but then they
It
find
really
a kind of
fucking is.
dodgy old hermit in a spaceship somewhere else on Endor who's a kind of cross between Ben Kenobi and Yoda.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then but he looks like the bloke with the walrus beard from Cocoon.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh well, I've
But a
got
bit more pointy.
to look forward to.
But it's truly awful.
Yeah. So far I've managed to chalk off Ghostbusters, which is the first film mentioned in the book. It's not mentioned by name, but it's mentioned by one of Peter Venkman's lines in the mayor's office. Cats and dogs living together, mass hysteria.
Mass hysteria.
And then I watched Heathers, which is
Fucking awesome.
Heathers is
Awesome,
brilliant. I'll
yeah,
have to watch that
but-
again.
very
Looking forward
heavily
to that.
featured at the start because that's what plays out during the announcement after Halliday's death in the book. And I'd like to think that it's the final funeral scene when they're all dressed in white with the 3D glasses that's taking place in the book. Now, I might have missold Heathers to my friend who I was watching it with, because I said, "Oh, it's kind of like Mean Girls,"
No.
No, it's not.
Well, and she was just like, "Well, yeah, it kind of is." Apart from all the murder suicide packs.
The only bit that's
There was
similar.
nothing, apart from the
New
apart
sheriff
from
in town.
apart from the clique.
Yeah.
But there's a group of cliquey
Yes.
girls.
There's 3
That's-
of.
that's
yeah,
the
yes,
only
that's the only
thing.
bit. Yeah.
That is the same
Yes,
as
it is.
Mean Girls. Other than that, there is nothing
Yeah.
at all in common. So yeah, note to self, and just
In general, don't compare Heathers to
never
Mean Girls.
compare Heathers to Mean Girls. They're both awesome films, and I'll say what you want, but I fucking love Mean Girls.
No,
It's a great
I
movie.
enjoyed Mean Girls.
Heathers was so much bleaker than I remember it being.
That's why I
was-
fucking loved it.
Halfway through, I was just like, I'm so sorry. This is nothing like Mean Girls.
There are some glaring omissions from that list in my opinion of things that I think should be in there given everything else that is. Like Pump Up the Volume, I think should be in there.
Yeah.
But obviously isn't.
That was cool, yeah.
Great film.
Pump Up the Volume's an awesome film. Chuck you, Farley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm doing it as well. So we're doing it independently, and yeah,
But
It's fun.
simultaneously.
It is fun. It's nice. It's just good to sit down with a movie.
you've actually had some requests if you can put together a list of games mentioned
Yeah, I
in it.
saw that. I saw the games list.
That's coming from a couple of people actually.
I was just like, I don't know. I wouldn't know where to start
From
with.
the quotes.
Oh no, with completing it. I mean, I couldn't complete the games challenge. I don't think. Because like one of the games is
Yeah,
Pac-Man,
but could you
so
compile
have-
a?
Oh yeah,
could you compile a list?
Yeah, you compile a list. No
so
problem.
there, yeah.
But I couldn't complete the challenge.
No,
'cause I
no.
would never complete Pac-Man, and my joust skills.
But
would
you
not
can't.
be-
Yeah, some games cannot be completed by
Yeah.
the fact that they're just continuous.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think it's
I
enough
think
to put.
to
to
play
play
them,
all of them.
To play all of
Yeah.
them, I think would be the challenge.
But if you could put together the list of that would be brilliant.
Yeah, we could
because
do a list.
that's definitely been asked
Yeah.
for. So
Yeah, we'll definitely do that. Yeah, that'd be cool actually, because I reckon with that new recent cache of MS-DOS games released online, I reckon you could probably get a few of the games in there. So it'd be cool to play them and screenshot them and have like
There'll
a
be
high
plenty
score.
of emulators as well.
Oh yeah. I will get on that.
Yes, it would
So,
be quite
yes,
cool to
get
do
on that and
screenshots. That's a
we'll-
good
we'll
idea.
put that
Do
one out as well.
screenshots and get the
Yeah,
highest.
have like a Hall of Fame
highest finishes.
on the website. That'd be
Yeah.
sweet.
That would.
So yeah, so far Ghostbusters, Heathers, Lady Hawk, and The Matrix.
Okay.
Cool.
I put up a status saying, honestly, Lady Hawk is going to be a hard act for The Matrix to follow. And then within 5 minutes of watching The Matrix, I was just like, no. Lady Hawk was good, but that opening section of The Matrix makes you go,
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first couple of minutes of The Matrix,
Yeah.
there's very little on Earth that can beat
Yeah.
that as an opener.
Every time I watch The Matrix, I forget how good The Matrix is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
Even though how dated it is now, but it
still
still
doesn't
works.
look that
It's
bad.
still good.
It doesn't date, but it hasn't dated that badly.
It's some of the later ones that date badly, like the Matrix Reloaded when he's having the big fight against Matrix Revolutions where he's having the big fight against Agent Smith
Yeah.
in the rain.
Yes.
And he just he's obviously like some kind of really badly CGI'd Neo.
Yeah. It's all the Agent Smith standing in a line saying, our budget has been blown, so
Yes.
we're just going to stand here and watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's what it was. Oh, but that film was terrible. That film was two terrible movies around one great movie.
Yeah.
If
Yes.
it had just been The Battle for Zion for 2 hours, I would have watched the shit out of that film.
Well, there were a
But-
couple of other better bits, but it was it should have been one film. It should never have been two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They should have put both together and kind of had all the stuff happening in the real world and in the Matrix and put that together. And the Battle for Zion, that would have been great.
Yeah.
That would have been a cool
They've got
second
some, yeah.
film.
But luckily, those two films aren't on the challenge, so that's great.
No, just the first one.
Just the first one. What does suck is that he mentions Kevin Smith and Tarantino by name, but none of their
None of the
films.
films.
So,
Yeah.
because I would love to chuck more rats.
Well, you have to watch all of them then.
Yeah, well, I could do that. I could do a
What's
ton
what,
of
about
that.
8 or 9 Tarantino films and then probably about 8 or 9 Kevin Smith?
Depends whether he's talking about directed or written or produced. Because then
Ooh.
you got stuff like NBK, Natural Born Killers, which is
Yeah.
an Oliver Stone film but on Tarantino script.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Kevin Smith, obviously, you'd have to include Tusk and Red State in there.
Yeah.
Red State is actually not a bad film.
I quite like Red State. There's
Yeah.
some nice, unexpected moments in
Yeah.
it, which...
And John Goodman is fantastic. I haven't listened to Tusk yet.
No, I haven't.
So the challenge goes, it's going to be a full year, so not to New Year's Eve, it'll be to the 18th of January 2015. That's when I started the challenge.
Okay.
Yep.
So, yeah.
I think
Bring
that's
it on.
quite doable.
I've got 76 more films to watch by then, which shouldn't be too bad. You know, it should be doable.
I've just got to stop watching Harry Potter. I'm still
Yeah.
doing it. I'm
Yeah.
still, yeah.
What?
I don't know, I've just fallen into a habit of just re-watching all the Harry Potter films and then going back to the start and watching them again. I've got to stop it, yeah. It's like crack at the moment. I don't know what's going on.
That's insane.
Endlessly. It is insane.
I have no idea what's happening, but
The
yeah.
definition of hell, isn't it?
Yeah, right. What the hell?
Oh well. Well, I think that might be it for this week.
I think it may well be.
Okay.
Just trying to think of anything else. Anything we've got coming up? Well, obviously, there's off to the sci-fi ball this weekend,
Yep.
so there will be some reviews and stuff coming out of that. Also, the website will be changing quite a bit in the next couple of weeks because I'll be working on that. So there will be a whole new shiny theme going up on there and lots of new sections to the site, and will hopefully look a bit better and play a bit better on mobile phones and tablets and things than what it does currently.
Cool.
So yeah, keep an eye out for that. I mean, a lot of stuff going on.
Wicked. All right. Well, time to do a sign off, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
Can you remember how to do it?
I forget every time, don't I?
Yes.
I always get something wrong. Well, yeah. So that's it for this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll do. Yeah.
Thanks all for listening. I've been Brendan.
I've been Spindles.
And I've been Ady.
And until next time, take care and be excellent to each other.